Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Hey, hello, Barry. I didn't see you at Gen Con.
Because I don't go to Gen Con. Too many nerds.
You're too good for it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I do want to say something about that. Remind me when we get going.
No, you're cool. I have many stories about Gen Con, many things to discuss. But first of all, it is the 9th of August, in the year of our Lord, 2023. Tonight I'm enjoying a Barks root beer. Barks. It doesn't taste as good as A&W in my opinion, but this was on sale. So
it is what it is.
It was only, I can remember back in my day. I can remember
soda had sugar.
No, I remember the last apartment I lived in before my wife and I got together. There was a grocery store that when I was up late playing World of Warcraft, I would so I'd take a break from, like, if I ran out of like sodas or frozen pizza or something. It was relatively close, but I'd always say, okay, let's just get up and get a little exercise, whatever. And so I remember I'd always get up and I'd walk to that grocery store and walk back. It was dumb, right? I mean, my car was right there. If I drove there and drove back, but I had this idea that, like, okay, put my headphones on, whatever my knockoff iPod was that I used to listen to my music, throw my headphones on and then just go for a walk. But I remember I would go there and I would walk back with my sodas. What was I getting at with this whole thing?
I don't know.
I had a point. There was a point. There was a point beyond this. I was trying to think of it because we were talking about yeah, I remember. Like in this grocery store on a regular basis, they would have $5 cases of soda. Like I remember I would be able to get a case of Coke for $5 back in my day.
$5.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I forgot to switch these cameras
out. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Well, we're not, so we said, sporting the big Coca-Cola shirt. Yeah, I mean, and we are not but today I got here, I'll read this email verbatim, what I got this email from. Let me see if I can. So the email is from madison.smith.info, which I don't know what that is. I don't know what Madison Smith is or anything like that. I can only assume it's just a joke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe let me see if madisonsmith.com is a website. It is not. It is not a website. It is one of those. Anyway.
It's a Nigerian prince.
No, this is it said madison.smith.info@gmail.com sent me an email 4 hours ago that said, hey there, we are collecting traffic for our site. We'll only give you 2 ads in a day that you can post on the page. I will pay you $4,000 per week and payment will be made in advance. If you're interested, please response me as soon as possible. Thank you. So I just need to know if you think that's this would be quite the get.
It's as real as that Nigerian prince.
I mean, if I get a month, that's like 16 grand. That's not bad, right? Yeah, no. Glory Turtle says, I heard Drive-Thru RPG was at Gen Con. Do they normally attend? If they were there, I didn't know where they were. I mean, like Independent Press Alliance were there. There was a lot of like Wet Ink was there. there was a lot of things there as far as RPG. So I mean, if they were, that makes me sad because I would have definitely checked it out. But I did not see them at all. Yeah, if they were there, I don't think so. I don't think they were. I mean, I'd be interested to hear if they were, but I don't believe so. So, I have several witness server undead squatch sightings from various. Oh yeah, there was a lot of people that. Well, when you have the prettiest date to the prom, you and people want to videotape them. You tend to show up on a few shows or whatever. So, hey Aldi,
Videotape.
hey, look at that ANW0 baby. I was just talking about my I had a Barks.
I think
Yeah.
the A&W is a better diet.
Oh, it is. The ANW0 is amazing.
Barks. I don't like the Barks diet so much.
No, but but it was on sale, so I picked it up.
Oh, well, sometimes.
But that ANW0, that's a quality soda right there.
No caffeine.
Yeah, which is probably better for us, right?
Yes, it is. My uncle's actually on a strict diet with that. No caffeine, no sugar, no sodium. Strict diet with that.
What was the problem? Well, don't tell me.
A bunch of shit. He's 70 years old, Scott. I mean, lived like shit for most of it.
So
not that old.
But he lived like shit for most of it.
Yeah. So now, can I tell you? I remember when I still worked at US Bank. My boss, she had like her grandfather was passing away. Like it was one of those things where he was in hospice or whatever. And then she mentioned that like she went to go see him, and she asked how he was doing. He says, "I'm doing great. They're letting me drink a Pepsi," because it was one of those things where it's like he wasn't allowed to have any caffeine or anything, but it was just like, well, there's nothing we can do for you anymore. If you want a Pepsi right now, you can go ahead and drink.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can do crack. Come on.
Yeah.
That was my last question with my mom. I was like, anything you want to do? Weed, downers, what? I was like, nah.
Heroin.
So I wouldn't go that far, but
that was an old Norm Macdonald bit.
I didn't trust it at the time.
Oh, was it?
It was late.
Yeah, about like you should just start doing heroin when you're 70. Yeah,
got nothing to lose.
I'm like 95%.
What, heroin or junkie or
no? Stick H said I looked 100%.
I
feel all right. Feel all right.
Good.
I told the doctor tomorrow, so I can talk to them more about stuff. But
it's always fun. I just came from one yesterday. One of them days. I got a bunch of shit coming up.
How was
well, I mean, I got
you came in, sucker.
I've got a lot of stories, I guess. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is showing up. I told Forrest he had to show up for this because I wanted to talk to him.
Did he go to Gen Con?
Oh yeah, he was there. I saw him. He came to my booth and we started talking about stuff and started talking about other people in the hobby. Man, we were like
talking smack.
Well, not really.
Naturally.
But we were hold on, I'm testing right and talk.
I do have a grievance about Gen Con.
So but I'll let you grievance away here in a little bit because I definitely want to but Forrest and I started talking some stuff and I'm like we were both I was laughing so hard I could barely breathe. It was like I don't know if it was just because it was like Saturday, we've been busy, it was like middle of the afternoon and I was like losing my mind because I'd just been trapped in that booth for so long. But he and I just started talking and we just a little bit of reminiscing, a little bit of BS, but it was like I couldn't breathe. We were just having a blast. It makes me sad. But I mean it's one of those things too where if I saw him all the time it would probably annoy the piss out of me. So
yeah, definitely. I guess you used to argue here.
yeah, I know. But I mean, for that moment, for that magic moment or whatever, It was pretty excellent. We had a good chat. I had a really good chat with lots of people. I had a really good chat with Jenna. I had a really good chat with Matt Paquette, who hopefully will log in here soon.
Yeah, where's Matt?
I don't know. Jeremy stopped by. I had a good chat with him. Ran into Tom on the very first day and talked to him for a little bit. He clowned on me for a little bit. That was as he does. I had dinner with Dan King, the Game Boy Geek. And that was good. We went to this. He's got this favorite restaurant that is like a Chinese restaurant. That's really, I mean, like not like buffet, like really good, like, but it's like a jazz place.
A jazz Chinese.
What's it called?
Oh man,
Working.
I forget what
It's 10 o'clock at night, Matt.
Yeah, no,
It's
10:30
10:30 for him. Yeah.
it was like a jazz place, and it's really good food. And but they had a jazz singer there that night, and being accompanied by a jazz pianist and a jazz bassist. They
I'm
were
not really into jazz, but I've been to a couple shows. They are a pretty good show.
Yeah. So it was actually, and so that was fun. I spent a lot of
I would
time
go to a jazz
Yeah,
restaurant.
that's the first time I
If you ever go to Gen Con, you and I will go there because it's really good food. I mean, it's like stupidly good food. I spent a lot of time speaking with Jeff and Gilliam from Boda Manufacturing, who they manufacture most of the games that we publish. And so I ended up talking with them a lot. The cool thing was the next little minis are little miniatures, and I shouldn't say little because we're actually getting bigger and bigger. Next little miniatures had a booth, and man, they had people buying miniatures all day long. I mean, because they set it up with, like in bins and all this stuff, and they had like little like IKEA baskets that could hold a lot of your minis, and people were just like, so it was like, oh, it's like these are orcs, they're $1.50 a piece. These are so and so, and people were just like, full. Like, I mean, thousands of dollars of $1 minis being
Which
sold
one is
every
this?
day. Next Level Miniatures, our miniatures.
The other company you're running?
Yeah. So thousands upon thousands of dollars in $1 miniatures, like
I
being
can
sold.
hear Shane now. Fuck them board games.
I think he might say that if we didn't have, like I said, the prettiest girl at the prom. So
Next time things hit a slump, fuck them board games. We got.
I know. I mean, it was no, I mean it was the buzz for Last Light was, so I didn't want to dive too deep into this, but yet anyway. But I remember when we were deciding
Give me a minute.
What?
Yeah.
Give him a minute.
No,
give me a minute.
but I
He's
but
not
I remember,
warmed up yet.
But I remember when we were trying to decide how many we were gonna air freight in, when we realized that we weren't going to be able to get them otherwise. So we tried to like make like an educated guess as far as how many sales we thought we would do, and like Shane's biggest worry was that he was going to spend a crap ton of money to airship that stuff over, and then like have it sitting in the booth until Sunday, and like nobody wanted it. I mean, like you have a feeling that like you're going to sell it, but what if you don't, right?
This was Last Light?
Yeah, Last Light. So
I saw the people running to get to it.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know that. You don't know that until you actually open it up, right? So
Apparently everything sold, Lance. It didn't matter what. People put
one
crap
of
in
them
the box.
cons.
They sold it.
It was one of them cons. Okay.
So
I mean, there was 70,000 people there. I mean, they got to buy something. You got to go. You got to.
Yeah. So
do something. The only thing to do at Gen Con is buy, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like also the price point, because if you wanted the base game plus the expansion, it was $260. You know, that's a lot of money, right? You know, so like, but I mean, but people were more than happy to pay it, which was crazy, in my opinion. I mean, we argued about the price in meetings, what we were going to charge at Gen Con, you know, for a long, long while. And I remember like, but no, I mean, so I still remember after we sold out of the allocation for the first day, when we sold out of that in like, what was it? It was like 14 or 15 minutes. I texted Shane. I was like, we sold out in 15 minutes. And he said, thank God. Because he was so worried that it wasn't. But then obviously things went better after that, and people got excited. And Last Light is now number 3 on the hotness, which is cool. So ooh, yeah. No, I mean, hey, I'll, you know, Shane applies a lot of importance as to the hotness, as to he applies a great deal to that. I don't know why. It's crazy, but
Yeah, well, idiot.
Yeah,
such an idiot.
But yeah, he
No, I mean, like what? I mean, I feel like it's a real thing. I mean, I'm not making anything up.
well,
I
mean,
coded that thing like 20 years ago. When did we get to hotness? It was not that. It was probably not that long ago. Maybe like 15 years ago, and we haven't touched it since.
well,
There's
I'll
no
say
fiddling
this.
with it. There's no futzing with it.
No futzing.
Well, I mean, there's
Hey,
lots of
Scott,
things.
did you ever think of giving something at the con? Like, I know you can't predict what's going to be the hotness, but could you give something like once things going at the con to the publisher saying this is the hotness in the game room?
You mean Geek Buzz?
Do you still do that? I thought you killed that.
Gave up on it.
Yeah.
Although it might be at Essen. I'm not sure. We're still trying to.
No,
if we
but I mean,
integrate into the Essen app, then I think we could probably make it a little more real.
I mean something like a badge or something that you could give directly to the publisher at the booth, saying this is the hotness. You know, and people go in the room.
I mean,
check it
anything's
out.
possible. It's just a matter of effort.
True.
And and then people participating. I mean, that's the biggest problem is participation.
Mm.
And not the people that, I mean, it's a weird problem to solve. I want, you know, the perfect answer would be everybody uses it as it should. They show the things they're interested in, click the buttons and all that stuff. And there's no friction and it's very easily, and it's not gamed at all. That's my goal.
Yeah.
But the gaming is too easy.
Right. Yeah.
And there's too much at stake. So it's like, there's reasons to game it.
But I mean, how do you know what do you put in the room? Like, how do you decide what to put in the room on day one?
Oh, we put everything in the room.
And so everything.
And then it just, whatever gets played is, you know, we've tracked it now. I posted the stats earlier.
It whittles its way out from there. Okay.
Yeah, Cascadia is still a beast.
Is it?
I mean, we have the list if you want to look at it. We can go over that later if you want.
We were happy to supply the Hot Games room with a copy of Last Light Plus expansion.
Yeah,
which we did. I actually walked it over there for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It helped that I was staying.
Don't you stay at the Hyatt? I've been saying you weren't.
Yeah. If he wanted,
I had
to
hit.
thing.
I had to hit the 2 before
you went
7.
to the 12.
Yeah, before I went to the 7. So you know, it was. So here's a conundrum for you.
Here's a conundrum.
No.
Did it really sell for $650 for 550 plus shipping?
Yeah.
Who would buy that?
That
makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It's not like the game is not available like in a minute.
Yeah, September. Theoretically. So when I was at Origins, I didn't go to Origins looking for anything. I didn't really see anything. The only thing I decided after the fact that I was like, oh, I wish I'd gotten that when I walked in was this.
Oh yeah, that thing's awesome.
The Thunder Road Vendetta.
I didn't realize it was that big. Wow.
Yeah, so I haven't even.
I mean, I was skeptical because I didn't think the game that it was based on was that interesting.
So I haven't opened it yet.
It's very good.
But I saw people with this, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's like got all the expansions inside of it." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was
did you do a
like,
trade or something, or did you buy it?
I just bought it. So
how much are they? 100?
140. So now here, listen to this though.
That's almost
It-
as much as Host Haven.
So look at this. Look at it this way.
No,
though.
it's not.
That has the base game and 3 expansions in it, and has a box big enough to hold everything. However, so that's 140. If you wanted to buy the base game from Restoration Games, that was 70.
Mhm.
The first expansion was 40. The second expansion was
So you might as
30.
well, if you buy
The
the first
second-
one
the
110,
second-
you might
no,
as
no,
well
listen-
spend
listen to me.
140.
It was base game 70, first expansion 40, second expansion 30, third expansion 30.
Really?
So
Yeah,
you're
that's
paying-
$170.
Yeah.
Yet they're selling this for 140.
Oh, it's a bargain then.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Wait,
it's
wait,
like,
Is
but
your
I was
math
like,
right? Oh yeah, your math is right.
I mean, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna
What a
tell them-
bargain you've gotten there.
I know. Well, that's why I didn't want to buy it because I was like, I'm gonna get that if it was really, because people were saying how much was it, and every origin site was 140 bucks, and I was like, well, that's a really good deal. It's
And you
140
didn't pay
bucks.
tax, I'm suspect.
I think they checked.
Tax included.
Yeah, I think I don't know. But anyway,
Yes,
here's,
Scott.
but here's but my mind goes, there is absolutely, and I'm not telling Restoration Games how to do their business because they do very well for themselves, and I'm not gonna say anything about anything. But I was like, there is no way on earth, if that was the pricing up for the base game and expansions, my boss would allow it to be sold. He would be like, nah, you're getting the nice chrome box and the thing to hold everything, 180. That's he was like, you want everything with the cool stuff? It's 180. If you want to
Yeah,
buy
because you're
everything
making
separate.
it, if you price it out, it's 170
Uh-huh.
and you're getting a nice box. Although it's less boxes, right? You're not like it's 4 boxes otherwise versus
Less
1.
boxes, baby. Why do you think we sell all those Jarl edition
Yeah.
Champions of Midgard? Because people like the big box. They can take everything from the base box and put it in there, and they can throw that box away. Or I've heard some people actually put them in like hang them up on their walls or something. You know,
The
so-
boxes?
Yeah, like they cut
Yeah,
the thing
I've
out
heard
and put
people
it in
do
a
that.
frame.
Okay.
I actually just got rid of a lot.
Oh,
of
that's,
expansion boxes.
Oh, my, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, other than that, I picked up some other weird. I picked up like this was a RPG book that I wanted to pick up. The Monster Overhaul.
The Monster Overhaul, a practical bestiary by Skirples.
Skirples. It's, I mean, so it's tough to explain it, but I mean, like each like
Oh
yeah,
my god.
yeah, it's just like got all kinds of weird stuff inside, but
So
then
geeky.
also like so 1D100 goblins if you want your goblins to look, or 1D100 wizards, 1D100 peasants, things like that.
Oh, and they're
But,
all
like,
unique.
Yeah, and so like
Oh,
but
that's
then you
cool.
get to like a lich.
I
and
like
it's-
that stuff.
Well, and so like here's the entry for the lich, right? And it's just like, but it's got all kind. You're like, okay, well, it doesn't really give you stats, doesn't give you anything because everybody can look that
Flavor,
up.
just
in
give
your
you
own thing.
flavor.
It gives you a little bit of flavor, but then it also like kind of gives you a different way to run everything. Like it has like it's tough to explain, but it kind of just dives into each one, each monster or whatever, and like gives it like a different way that you would do it than you normally would.
Were there many RPG people there?
There was a
Like,
fair
as far
there
as
was a fair
booths?
number. There was a fair number. I mean, the big hitters were there, like Modifius and Green Ronin and why can't I think of the Call of Cthulhu people, and I can't think of the
Margaret
name right
Weiss.
now. I guess
Chaos.
off in a side room. Yeah, Chaosium, thank you. Off in a side room, there was an actual like some of like the graybeards of the RPG world were, you know, hanging out. Like Greenwood was there and stuff like that, like, you know, not in a completely straightforward or whatever what's what I'm looking for, like presence, if you will. If you know, they were kind of yeah yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things where, and then
That was the load in. Hot.
Loaded wasn't bad, except for the fact that Shane didn't get going until late. So
You wait on him to show up.
Yeah, so I was there forever before. Oh, and I walked by Pegasus Spiel. My old friend Anton Torres saw me and threw a copy of.
Oh, Anton
from,
Torres works at Pegasus Spiel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I like
he
Anton's a good guy. I like
he basically threw a copy of
Threw it.
Dorf Romantic at me. He's like, "Hey, have a game.
Please take this.
Oh, they had a big
I think it's a
of it.
good game. I played
enjoyed
it
it.
6-7 times now. I want to finish it. I mean, I want to unlock everything. It's
I
fun.
picked up Pirate Borg. That was cool.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, that Mork Borg, and then there's Pirate Borg, and now there's Cyborg. You know, ha ha ha. This was an RPG.
I'm interested in
thing.
that. Yeah, I bought some more board books. They're
Yeah,
fun.
this was the RPG I really wanted to track down. The Outcast Silver Raiders, or OSR.
Is that the one you said? Can I pre-order it or?
Yeah, yeah. And I went over to his booth and bought
They're like,
one.
oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, I couldn't sell it to you because I actually had to drive and go pick them up." And I was just like, then that that Monster Overhaul book was another one that I reached out and asked them.
What do
And
those
then
run? Just curiosity.
The Monster Overhaul, it was like $60. You can get it at Indie Press Revolution. That was the booth that I found it at. Anyway, so yeah, this one I haven't cracked it open yet, but I'm looking forward
What
to
does that
cracking it
one run?
open.
It looks expensive.
This one, it was $90 for the
Turn
for
it
the box.
Sideways. I want to see the. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all book?
It is like 4 different books and an adventure and some other stuff.
Can you see the book ends? Ends?
No, it's
Just hiding.
But I haven't
You're not
opened
gonna
it
open
yet.
that shrink wrap
I will eventually. I'm excited to do that.
eventually.
And then let me see here. Oh, and then I got the last one of these because I had to take like the actual demo copy. Dragonbane. I didn't think much of it, and I read the rules, and I was kind of excited
Mirth
about it.
Mayhem role playing. Mirth and Mayhem role playing.
So it's like grimdark, but with humor. I don't know how to explain it, but you can see that there is
Yeah.
there's an evil duck assassin on the back.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally awesome.
Darkwing Duck.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a box set that but I remember it was weird. I walked by their booth and I saw they had a small stack of the things still, and I was like, oh, and then because my daughter and I on Saturday we got like I basically had somebody cover the booth and we had as many hours as we wanted to on Saturday. So around noon we left and we decided to just go check things out. And Rylan had seen a ton of stuff that she wanted to go look at and see if she could convince me to spend money on. And which she did. Like she picked up a lot of the picked up a lot of the Final Girl stuff. And then
I like the little girl.
yeah, and it helps that
Fun.
AJ was like,
I can't
we
get
bought
praised at
we
first.
bought a bunch of the modules but they didn't have any of the base game left. And so he was like, you know what? He's like, I'll just send
Mail
you
it
the
to you?
base. Yeah, he's like, I'll send you the base game because and then he gave us a super sweet.
It's a weird system.
Yeah.
Like the base game by itself, you can't actually play. You have
You
to
know?
get something to go with it, which is so weird.
Really, I got that
It's a weird
feeling
system.
too. Yeah, I
I'm
haven't
pretty sure
played
that's
it.
the way it's packaged. I'm
I
not.
won't spend that.
I'm
much
not
money on
100%, but
it,
I'm almost.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But
It
with
remind me
this,
of that time game.
Time stories.
Timeline. Time
The
story,
time stories
yeah.
now they're selling standalone in little small boxes like this big.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But with this, I walked by the booth and I saw it and I was like, oh, I'll pop by on the way back and see if I was gonna try to make my mind. And when I came back, like they literally had they had like 8 or 9 of the ones in shrink, and then like the guy was like literally putting this together from
Is
the
that in
demo
shrink?
copy.
Or is that
No, it's everything is nothing's been messed with
What's the
because
box?
this was in the if Gen Con in that hallway where they have like the jewel cases
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
that
like
hallway?
that.
That
no,
one's got
the
Yeah.
main
not the other
hallway,
one.
funny
No,
guy.
no, no.
The main
one on the
hallway,
left?
the main hallway where you have like improvised weapons, just like these things. Anyway, but that main hallway where you walk to get into the exhibitor hall, like they have those jewel
Yeah.
cases where you have stuff to display. So this was the copy that they had on display in that. So they opened it up to kind of show it off, and then ooh, look, pretty nice. They opened it up to show it off, and then they brought this one in because he's like, well, I'm going to sell this one. Then I happened to be there right at that moment, and I was like, well, I'll buy it. And he's
Lucky
like,
you.
cool. And he's like, $50, my man. And I said, here's your money, jerk face. And then we moved on. So
Plus-
this was something here we'll just show you. That's it's like maybe you can't read it, but it says the city eats people. Never forget that. And then it's called into
Wow, you
the
spent some coin on here on at this Gen Con.
I just went looking for RPG stuff that I
Into
can't
the
normally get.
Cess and Citadel.
Into the Cess and Citadel. This got nominated for an Emmy.
Ooh.
Signed by the author, and also
It's worth at
the
least
author was there and drew
$1.
a little picture for me.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that.
I don't know what that's supposed to be, other than
That's a running pot of plants,
or something. Yeah,
I'm
Isn't
thinking
it-
fire.
or it's a
She
running
was-
brazier.
she was very nice, and but it's like it's this is one of those flavor books that I just like really
Flavor?
fantastic artwork in it.
Oh yeah.
Undercity encounters. And then all kinds of charts like this.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't that like that's the what do you call it? The juice, the of game RPGs, like the number of tables you've got and all those.
oh yeah,
tables.
totally. Like I can't find it here, but I'm not gonna dig through it until I find it. But there's one in here. It's like, so you found a dead body is what it's called.
I
And
like
like
that.
and then you roll like a D100
Found
and
it.
that's like something interesting about the dead body that you found, just cool stuff like that.
Right.
Now, so the other thing about
He
Gen
keeps
Con-
reaching back into that black void and pulling more things out.
Yeah.
So
Would you-
well here.
Did you pack a suitcase of it to come home?
That's another funny story.
Funny
Here's
story. Yep.
Here's my door romantic.
You should play it. It's good.
I'll
I know you'll hate it. You don't like
I'll get
cards.
around to it. I'll get
Yeah.
around to it.
He'll shit on it.
You'll shit on
Don't worry.
No, I
Hey, Matt.
won't.
I'll play it once. Yeah, I'll never
it.
have
How's your
to
Gen
do it.
Con?
It was good.
I'm not done telling my story, Matt. You don't get to take over yet.
I answered a fucking question.
I know he said one thing.
Man, you got the Canadian
Jesus.
cursing. What the fuck?
So the one thing about there are one of the more
And it keeps going.
no one of the more oddball publishers out there is Lamentations of the Flame Princess.
Yes, I know that one.
Yes, and they have they come to Gen Con. Otherwise, you have to order their stuff and have it sent from Finland, which is expensive.
I'm sure.
So whenever they have new releases and they're at Gen Con, I pick up all their new releases. So they have all these like zines that they do, which is cool. But I mean, and like all these are just crazy and weird. Their catalog, which they gave you for free, is actually has an adventure in it, like a full like 24-page D&D adventure, which I thought was kind of neat. But they had many new releases for Gen Con. So I had to pick up all the new hardcovers they had.
How much money did you spend? What was your total bill? Have you added it up yet? That's like at least $500 right there.
We don't talk about that.
Come
Shane's
on.
getting a tax write off for research.
Yeah, so
Someone had the petty cash. Someone was taking last light cash.
no. I knew exactly how much. 'Cause
Dipping into the last
he
light.
posted
funds.
all the prices and asked the people to bring exact change if possible in cash, and so I knew exactly how much I was going to cost me,
Okay,
and I went there.
cool.
And
That's fun.
yeah, so yeah, I mean,
Gen Con's back, right? I mean, it was like 70,000 people. It was massively crowded.
85 on
How can it's
Friday.
85?
that's what they said.
they said
Oh, I thought they
85.
said 70.
They were
Not that that's much
70. It
different.
was like 70,000 unique over the course of the thing, but they said that there was the big thing they were saying was 85 on Saturday, which I don't know what that means, but I don't know.
He's 10 more
I
than
just
what
can't
they
picture
said.
85,000 people there, but I guess that's true. I mean, they're not making it up, I suspect.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
Two-
like 85,000 people.
No, it didn't.
It looks like 20,000 people. 4 times.
So my big thing was, it was like, I still have
Which is fine. I
yet,
mean, massive still.
Yeah.
I still have yet to have had the moment that like I had a Gen Con like 2011 or 12, first time I went, where it was like the rows were stagnant with people, like you couldn't move, like no, like it was just like a
That was
big
the
giant.
50th, right?
No. I mean, I'm talking like when I first went ever, and the attendance was like 32,000, 35,000, but the exhibitor hall was much smaller back then.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since then.
But I can remember that, and you just get gummed up like a cholesterol filled artery. You just weren't moving at all, just like just praying you get through.
Are you on your Lipitor now? Are you taking
So I mean, it's just it's one of those
Are you?
things where I
It
just
was for a while.
it just it was just you just wouldn't move, you just and nothing would ever yeah, I don't know.
They were using
It
the
was- but-
stadium and too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Did you ever get over
I
there?
never made my way to the stadium. I thought about going, but I never made my way over there. I was just,
I heard there
I mean,
was
honestly, I got up
Ooh.
I got up at 8. My daughter and I would go and grab a breakfast sandwich somewhere, usually Subway, make our way into the steak, egg, and cheese on flatbread, baby. Tastes good. Make our way to our booth, get the booth, completed as far as being set up was done, and then just deal with the rush right away. And then just I worked the booth. I mean, for 8 straight hours, and just like took a few meetings here and there, talked to a couple of people. I don't know. My biggest thing is my only, well, I mean, you asked me about setup. Setup sucked because Shane couldn't get in the marshalling yard until like almost 4 o'clock, which means then we had 4 hours to set up the booth. And
Yeah, that's a late start.
yeah, and so I ended up having to I didn't think we were going to get done. I ended up, we still needed a good hour of setup to do in the morning before they opened the door, just so that kind of sucked out loud. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was weird because I didn't really go anywhere for any, I didn't other than going to that Chinese jazz place. There wasn't a really time where I went out to eat somewhere for anything special. We did meet a few people that we're working with in the future on a couple of projects. We met them out to eat at a hotel to eat, and then we got probably the worst food and the worst service I've had. Like literally, like it was one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, we reserved a table, and then we found out we're gonna have more people, and I was like, oh geez, we got more people. Is there gonna be room? And he's like, yeah, they'll be able to fit us in. And then we got there, and there was like literally nobody else in this entire this restaurant. In the
What was
Hilton.
it called?
It was just at the Hilton. There they had like the Hilton's just got a restaurant, just like it's just a grill. You get a burger, that kind of thing. And there was like nobody else there on a Saturday night. There was a couple of people sitting at the bar, but there was like nobody else in the room. And the waitress was like forgetting our orders. I mean, one of the things was like, when I ordered my food, I ordered like, can I get a Dr. Pepper? And they just said yes. And then like 15 minutes later, she like came walking by for some reason, and like there was nobody else there. I said, hey, I ordered a Dr. Pepper like 15 minutes ago. She said, yes, you did. It's just like,
She didn't tell you when you were getting the Dr. Pepper.
yes, you did, she said.
She's like, I'm embarrassed that I didn't get that for you as well.
Well, maybe,
I've done that
but
before.
yeah, just horrible service. And then they charged us too much. They put they had us, somebody had like 4 different, they decided like 4 different people like ordered steaks, but only 2 people ordered steaks. It was just a horrible experience. I mean, we got a story out of it, I guess, though. Went to the hot games room every night, hung out there.
I went to the hot games room with an hour left on Sunday and to
Oh.
go see Michael and Christina, and the guy wouldn't let me in.
Who was the
Oh.
guy?
I
Steven?
don't know, but then Beth is like, "Yeah, come on in."
That guy's fucking fired.
That guy's fired.
Well, they're following the rules. I mean, it's not like they
Yeah,
can.
yeah, no,
they
it
don't
was
know
fine.
who is who. I told
I
you.
even said to him, I
so-
even said,
so-
"Can I just go in and say hi to somebody?" He's like, "No."
I don't blame him. You got to do
So-
it for one. You got to do it for all.
So that's
Yeah.
weird. They just don't
That's
know
good
you because every
security
single
right there.
time, every
Yep.
single. So Lainey gave Rylan and I VIP badges like right away, and Rylan just had them in her wallet. And every single time we
Lost
started
it.
walking up there, they would just say, "Just go in, just go in." You know, they were just they
They
never
recognize you.
they just
Um,
didn't know.
I heard
I'll say
the
this.
VIP badges looked awesome though. I saw a picture of them.
Yeah.
What's
So
V-
I think
they-
it was.
I guess someone printed VIP badges. I'm not sure why.
I think it was Friday night. I think it was Friday night that we were that Evan
Still didn't get it.
Evan on the album. He was in there and we played a game and then we were just kind of hanging out and just talking. And it was, so I think the hot games room closed at 1, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, that seems late. I don't
It
think
was like midnight or
I think it was
1.
like 11.
Well, whatever. No,
11 was like the
it was
last
midnight.
set of-
I'm almost sure it was midnight at least. But anyway, so let's just say
It was at least midnight. It wouldn't be longer than that, I don't think.
So let's say it was midnight. So Evan and I we got done playing the game. We got done playing the game. And then Evan and I were just sitting there talking about the After the Empire expansion, talking about what we had to play test and change in order. And it was like 11:53, like nearly done. And he's like, he was talking about, oh, I think I'm heading over here to like go grab a beer with somebody or other. And I was like, and my daughter had already headed upstairs to our room. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go to bed. I gotta get my sleep, so I can do the booth. And like all of a sudden this guy comes over to us. And like literally because my room's there, I just went up there, took my badge off, just went downstairs, just played some games. And this guy comes in, he goes, hey, can I see your badge? And I was just like, and I just said, oh, I got a VIP for this room. And he's like, I don't care, I want to see your badge. And I kind of just looked over and this guy had like that Gen Con vest thing on. And I was just like,
Still need a Gen Con badge to go in there.
and what?
You still need a Gen Con
So
badge.
yeah, so that's and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. He's like, I need to see your Gen Con badge. And I said, this is my hotel, it's up in my room. Yeah, and I said that about Evan too. I was like, he's like, and then he was like, well, I need to see it. And I said, this thing closes in like 6 minutes. Are you seriously throwing me out of this room right now? And he kind of just looked at me and like, and he could, he's like, well, no, but just so you know, he said,
I could.
the only place in this hotel, and this is where I got snarky with him. The only place in this hotel that isn't technically Gen Con property is the lobby. And I was like, so I need to wear my badge in my room? I said,
Oh boy. You're like, man, you're out. Luckily you didn't know your name.
and then he scuttled off like a fiddler crab and left me alone.
Fiddler crap.
He was like, I got my little 5 seconds of power. See you later.
So
I'm
what,
glad
this
that
was-
honestly, I'm glad they come into the room because it's hard for us to police it.
Yeah.
When you're not being recorded, I'll get your real feelings.
Mhm.
I play by the Gen Con rules.
I know you do.
They've accused us of wrongdoing and we were not responsible, and then they came and apologized. I was
Oh,
like,
did they?
thank you for the apology. At least they apologized.
Yeah, it's big of them.
So, I mean, there's so much we could talk about as far as, I mean, I'll say this was so
You're never going to be able to talk, Matt, ever.
No, I got
I'm used to it with Lance.
Please,
Before-
Matt, let's
before
jump
I
in
forget-
whenever.
Before I forget, you actually got to watch me so I can tell the story. I mean, Shane, my daughter, and I laughed about this forever. So it was it was Thursday night, first night there, and we were gonna go and grab something to eat. And then it just stuff happened and we just didn't get going. And so at the Hyatt Regency, there's the super secret Subway, and then there's the Pizza de Tito, which is just that pizza by the slice place. And Shane's like, let's just eat here. And just, because Shane was staying in our room too. And I was like, do you want to go to Subway or you want to go to a pizza place? He's like, I'm not eating at Subway. Let's just go to the pizza place. So we walk over to the pizza by the slice thing. So you've been in a pizza by the slice, you walk up, there's like the kind of the heat lamps or whatever, the glass cage in front of you, and they have the pizzas that are like they cook them about half the way, and then they throw them in the oven, they cook them the rest of the way, kind of thing. If you know what I'm talking about. You talk about pizza by the slice. And so we walk
You
up.
don't know
Oh
it's
yeah,
that-
it's a pizza. It's a cooked pizza, and that they just heat it.
Yeah, they just reheat.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. So we walk up and there's this skinny little old Italian man,
Oh.
bald head, he's just
You
got
could tell
this-
what nationality he was.
the moment
gotta be bald to be
he-
Italian? I
He,
mean-
he had a very, very thick Italian accent.
Okay.
So Shane walks up and he's like looking up at the menu that's up there. And then the guy's just staring at him, and he's just got this look on his face. And the guy's, he's got the flour all over him and everything. We have cooking pizzas. And Shane says to him,
He's got to work there.
the guy works there.
Okay.
Shane goes, yeah, I'll have a chicken calzone. And then he starts to turn around to tell us, order whatever you want, kind of thing. And the guy says, oh, you don't have
5 times now.
my wife's like, she's heard the story because they haven't heard the story yet.
5 times you've told the story now.
She's heard
Wow,
the
must be a hell of a
several
story.
times.
We'll hear it 5 times, just not tonight.
So he looks, so then he turns around, he looks at the guy, he said, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. And he says, don't have. And so Shane just so he starts to look at the menu, and he said, at that moment, something clicked in my brain that he was like, it's going to be a lot easier if I just ask him what he has than to ask him. And so he says, well, what do you have? Remember, the guy's standing in front of all that stuff, and the guy just straight ahead, no reflection stare, just goes like this. So Shane says, this is all you have? It's like 4 slices of pizza and some breadsticks that are in this thing. That's all you have? And the guy says, we close at 9. And Shane looks at him, it's 7:45. And then he says, we have to get ready for breakfast. And he just looks at him and goes, I'll have 2 slices of cheese pizza. And I got my 2 slices of pepperoni, and Riley got some breadsticks. And so we're just laughing about it. And we just go down and we sit down and we're eating the food. And all of a sudden this line of people shows up and the guy starts making new pizzas.
Oh yeah.
And Shane's like, that motherfucker. If he makes them a calzone, I swear to God.
I mean, but isn't calzone just like the dough and stuffed in with cheese and sauce and like
Yeah.
basically what's on a pizza inside of a thing that's folded
Yeah, it's a
Just-
folded
just-
pizza.
with cheese or whatever, like ricotta cheese and stuff?
Just don't
It
have.
depends. Some of them are deep fried.
All right, Matt, what's your funny
Depends on
pizza
what they
story?
are.
Do you have any funny pizza stories?
No, we went to, me and Nico from AEG went to Mesh on Mass. I went there last year.
What's mesh?
Mesh is just a restaurant.
Oh, okay. Oh,
on
you know, I know
Mass.
that one. I know the name of that one.
Yeah,
We thought about going, but it looked too like hip for us.
this is the second time it's happened in like 2 cons. I get there, I'm like, oh yeah, because I've always wanted to find new restaurants, right? So I get there, I'm like, oh, I've been here. So we get in there, and it was fine. It was good food when we went with the Panda folks, and it was good food. But we get there, and we get inside, and there was this table of like 12 or 15 people beside us, and they were like cackling like crazy. Which was not fun.
I can't see.
And then we had like literally the worst bus boy for our table. We just kept getting a whole bunch of appetizers, like we didn't actually have main. And
One moment, please.
Mute
the
yourself.
bus boy would come. What's that?
I can't hear over your Lance talking.
No, I know, Lance, mute yourself.
He's muted. He's muted.
Like-
He's finally, yeah.
So we're sitting down and we get the charcuterie board, and I don't know, maybe I'm a food snob, but the guy comes over and he just literally comes over, plunks it
It's an
down,
table.
and walks away.
Yeah, they don't explain nothing.
Like, what the fuck am I eating here?
Yeah,
You're eating cheese.
Not
Cheese.
only that, but
Yeah.
there's
What-
literally
On a board.
there's literally no silverware, no napkins, and no side plates.
They expect
like,
you to do it the old fashioned.
you don't eat with
with
your
fingers.
fingers?
Yeah, you're too
So-
good for fingers.
So then the waitress comes and I flagged the waitress down. I'm like, can we get some side plates and cutlery, please? And she says, sure. I said, oh, and can you tell us what's on this board? She's like, oh, that no.
Oh man.
So that was fine. And then we saw this busboy 3 more times, and literally he had to drop off like dessert. There's again no cutlery on the table because she's cleared everything off. He drops the dessert down with
No idea.
Anyways, it was rather humorous, but
yeah. I mean, I think people just don't give a shit anymore.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
I kind of get that sense a lot.
Yeah.
but
The world has changed post-pandemic.
yeah,
Yeah,
it certainly
yeah, it
has.
is.
Yeah.
Saturday night was a good night. We started off at 5 o'clock. We went to Tastings Wine Bar, and Andrew Stiles, the game designer. He's a
I know.
sommelier, so we went and he kind of chatted up some wines with us and everything. It was like a group of us, me and James and some people from Launch Tabletop, and it was really fun. It was great. And then after that, we did a couple of other things, and then we ended up at the Hunters Entertainment Party at this ginormous like snaking bar that was like several different rooms. I'm in one of the far rooms. It actually was, I think it was 2 parties. There was the Backer Kit party in the back, and then the Hunters Entertainment Party in the front. But I was in one of the back rooms, and I said, oh, I love this song. It just came on the sound system. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard it. It was What's Up by Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I haven't heard this version before, because she was hitting notes like really high. It was beautiful. And then I'm like, wait a minute, those drums sound like they're here.
Oh, they were there.
So it was a live band, but no, it wasn't a live band. It was live band karaoke,
Oh, okay. They had a live band playing karaoke. Oh, okay.
which was, and then it was
That
awesome.
could either be great or horrible.
Yeah, I would not have gone up with these singers that were going up. Fuck, they were good. Evan went up though. Evan cranked out Black by Pearl Jam, which was really good. So that was a good night.
Cool. That was Friday night.
Pardon?
That was the first night or Friday night?
That was Saturday, actually.
Oh, Saturday night.
Then Friday
How
night we
was
had
your-
a social.
How was your social thing?
It was really good. It was really good.
Everybody
We
show
have
up?
some notes for next year, but
Oh, okay. It's your first time.
Did everybody show up?
Oh God, and then some. We have crashers too. I guess you have a good party when people start crashing your party.
Mhm.
But which was fine because we weren't like at 45 minutes before the end of the party, the waitress comes over. She's like, you're $1,000 below your minimum. So
Oh,
we're like running around with like streams of tickets, giving tickets to people that are like, oh no, I couldn't. I'm like, take it. But no, it was a really good party.
That's when you start ordering the scotch.
No, we had a
Oh, you had other
limit.
things.
We had a limit to the drink, but it was like $9, something like that. Simple cocktails. Or it was well drinks.
Oh,
But
well, yeah.
no, it was great. It was the notes like, don't put the speed dating right beside the open door to the karaoke room. Also ask
Seems
if they're
like it
gonna
was.
have a DJ spin up right at 9 o'clock, right by the speed dating. Yeah, stuff like that. But I mean, I've seen several comments on Facebook, and a lot of people reached out to me saying they had a really great time. So
That's good.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You could have had the cabals.
Think you'll do it again?
I hope so.
You want to do it again?
I do, yeah. I do want to do it again. I think we will. I mean, I got banners made and everything, and so yeah, I think it'll be great. I think a lot of people seem to really get a lot of really great connections out of it, and I had a few people say that it was the highlight of their Gen Con, so that was cool.
No.
That's cool. Yeah, you'd be
So the
surprised.
last light line was couldn't hold a candle to the special. I'm kidding.
I don't know.
Did you see the video of the people running to the last light line?
Yeah, they just see what
I mean, they're running.
Roy's
They're
like the
literally-
guy in
there's a
red
guy
in my
book
new
him.
Euro.
Well, when you only have like 30, so it's just kind of like we
Did
sold
you sell
in a
out,
minute.
Lance? Oh, you did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we sold out every day.
The same thing happened with Queen by Midnight. They were gone in like 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
What's Queen by Midnight?
That's the game we worked on with Darrington Press.
Oh, okay.
It's a deck builder battler from 2 to 6 players. Yeah, we did where is it? Where's my clock tower? I don't know where it is now.
Well, I
David-
definitely feel like I missed out.
Oh,
I had
dude,
FOMO all
yeah,
weekend.
next time.
dude, you
Although there was not hardly anything posted. It's stunning how much little there was posted. I'm like,
So-
I remember like in 2019, it was like fucking endless amounts of shit. Nothing now. People don't post. Nothing.
Keith reached out and he was like, "Hey, I wasn't gonna go, but I absolutely if you have a," he was like, if you have a badge, extra badge that I could just borrow for the day." On Friday he came in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and,
good.
I talked to him because I was trying to figure out if we had badges and we did not. We got 2 badges from Gen Con.
2.
What I don't know what we've done.
Yeah, you
I'm not
pissed
really
somebody
sure. I
off,
just don't
Scott.
understand why I don't know.
What do you mean 2 badges?
We had 2. I mean, we run a room, at the Gen Con thing. We run the hot games.
Oh,
room.
they only gave you
We only
2?
got 2, and I'm like, we should have like 50 for the
That
amount of
is-
hour. It's the number of play hours you do.
Yeah.
Like
that
I'm
is
not talking
not
about
true.
exhibitor badges, like GM badges. Like we had 0. I'm like, did we ask for any? Maybe that was the problem. Maybe we didn't ask for them and they didn't give them to us. Like that kind of problem.
Could be, yeah, miscommunication somewhere. Yeah.
So I'm just like, what? I'm like, grumble.
Robble.
Anything else fun?
Go.
I played half of one game on Sunday afternoon. With,
Half of one game.
with,
Oh,
they
at the
kick
hot
Mike,
games room.
with
they kicked
Michael and
them out.
Christina.
Michael
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That was my whole Gen Con. Half of one
Did you
game.
guys play?
Sushi boat.
Oh, how is that, Matt?
They liked that
Fun.
game. They told me they were playing it tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they sent me photos. She sent me a photo. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I just made bento boxes. I said, yeah, it was fun. I'd play it again. Yeah. I didn't really do much gameplay in the whole Gen Con.
How was the business?
It was good. I had like 3
wait,
meetings.
you did you went to the Game Genic meeting, right? Although I'm not sure we should be talking about this.
It was really good. That's all I'll say.
We'll just say we had a good meeting
That's all I'll say.
with some company.
And I will also say he is
That may or may
super
not.
nice.
I know I just, I keep regretting not going, but
He is so nice, that dude.
yeah, he really,
Oh,
we
thanks for
were
saying that about
separated
me.
at birth, I think.
Yeah.
Although I've never met him. I've only met him through calls. We have similar
Taste.
tastes.
I reconnected with Derek for the first time. I hung out with him. a long time.
Monkhauser?
No,
Porter.
your BGG
My Derek?
guy. Your Derek.
Derek Porter.
Yeah,
Oh,
dartboard.
He's our video guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had I'd been in many.
Oh, I like
times.
Derek. Yeah.
I ended up playing lots of games. I played a few games with him, and I ended up just sitting around and BSing with him a long time too. So I mean, that was fun. And I hadn't sat down and talked to Derek at all in a long time.
Yeah, he's a good guy. What was that game he was on the kick with at the BGG Springs, Scott? It was an older game. I was surprised to see it. I can't remember. It was a card.
Simula?
No,
He loves Simula.
I can't remember now. It was an older title. It just surprised me it was there, and he was into it. Like every time I seen him, he was playing it.
So I played Fiction. Somebody's
Yeah.
mentioned Fiction. Whatever. I played.
I want to play Fiction. I like it's Wordle with the trader, right?
No.
It's Wordle, but the game master is trying to.
Well, yeah. So very quickly, if people don't know what Fiction is, just Chad asked me if I cleared out the LOTFP books.
He bought everything.
I bought everything that was new and anything that was a reprint that I didn't have. So that was the books. And that was the zines. And I'll just show him because he wasn't here. I got Sesson Citadel. And I picked up Dragonbane. And I already told you that I got my Monster Overhaul book. So anyway. No, what was I gonna say? So
Who knows, Lance?
You pick a card. The card has 5-letter words on it that you get to pick. If you want to play a tougher game, you can go with the red ones because they repeat one of the letters. If you just normal is yellow, you pick one of those. Then you have a 10-minute timer that you have to for the first round, and a 10-minute timer for the second round. The other person, it's just like Mastermind or Wordle for that matter. They write down a 5-letter word. The word can't have two letters. They have unless you're playing on a more higher difficulty, you can't pick a word that has the same letter twice. Then the person,
All the words are from that book, right? And you know which
yeah.
book they picked.
And they
It's
know
like-
which book
it's
they
like-
picked,
it's
but
all
that
the public
doesn't
domain, like Alice in
really help.
Wonderland. Oh, it doesn't.
It doesn't really help. I mean,
sure?
it's just like
I feel
yeah,
like
because-
it felt like it sort of kind of helped.
I don't know. I mean, like when I played it, the word I picked was other. You know, I mean, it's like so. I mean, it's like what is
Was
that
it Game
gonna
of
help?
Thrones?
Was
it Harry Potter?
It was in Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
book. But anyway, so anyway, so
Anyway,
no. So you pick it, and then you just you do the thing, but then what the person can do, they can lie about one of the responses each time.
Yeah. So if you catch them in a lie, you can.
Well, no.
fit
So
your-
they when you catch them in a lie, it's one of those things where you get 3 times and it works really good as a 2-player game. You get 3 chances to like say, is this a lie? And then the person has to answer one way or the other whether or
Truthfully,
not it's
yeah.
a lie. But you only get 3 of those. And you get a total, if I remember correctly, I think it's like you get a total of 10 guesses total. So I mean,
Yeah, it's something.
and you have 10 minutes. So I mean, I don't know. So my gut reaction to the game is that and this is, I mean, this is going to sound horrible, and I'm not trying to trash on the publisher because they're friends with me. I'm not going to trash on the designer because he's a friend of mine. Is that it felt to me like, oh, I really want to make a Wordle board game, but I can't have the Wordle license. So I'm just going to add this like cheaters mechanism into it. And ta-da, that's my game. I mean, it's a game.
It feels like it's not Wordle though.
It is Wordle.
It is-
It absolutely.
I know
is
it's
just,
Wordle, but
just,
it's not.
Wordle. It's Wordle with one mechanism change. The lie. That's all it is.
Okay. I don't know. It
What
felt
else?
like more clever than Wordle.
But what Wordle is, I have a letter and I get 5 guesses, and then you.
That's
you have-
Hangman.
Well, Wordle is mastermind with Wordle.
Yeah, it's Mastermind. Yeah, I mean it's been done.
And so this is mastermind with a lot. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
By the way, there's also What's My Word, which it's basically the same game, but different.
So is it fun? Sure. Is it just like the most ingenious thing of all time? Absolutely not. It is. It
Okay.
is.
I want to play it.
No, I mean you'll love it.
I like the
You'll love
concept of it.
You'll love it because it's a word game. And
Lance hates it. So
Did you
you'll
get to
love it
play
even more.
sides at all? Did
Mm.
Lincoln have sides, or did they put sides in the hot games room? SIDES.
I didn't see it.
That was a
You'll-
fun game.
The only
It is
game
a
that I
fun-
was even mildly
Mhm.
interested in getting was that I didn't get was that sea salt and paper or whatever. And I had a guy from Pandasaurus over at my booth, and he's like, "You want me to go get you a copy?" I was like, "I'll just buy it." And he's like, "Well, I'll go get you a copy right now if you want." I was like, "I'll just buy it." And when
And
I
it
get
sold
it,
out.
and it sold out, and I was like, "Oh well," just like I mean,
Uh,
yeah, they'll make another million of it, so I'll get it eventually, and then maybe I won't even get it at all.
What's good about that game? Because I wasn't really sure. I didn't quite.
I
understand.
asked, and like people were just like, "Oh, it's just light and it's fun." Is all I ever heard.
Well,
Nobody
it's
could
light
nobody
and
could
fun.
describe it to me.
It's not
Nobody
like
could-
Nana. I mean, Nana is like
yeah,
chef's
that's
kiss of
fun
a game.
Yeah,
It's just
it's light and fun, man.
It's light and it's fun.
It's gamer go fish.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it was just okay. Well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I had one guy come and give me both barrels for selling last night at the convention. And
Good
he
for him.
He was a backer, and he had.
I wish I were there.
And to which I just I told him repeatedly, I understand.
You
I understand why it's upsetting to you, and I understand why it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And but it was one of those things where I was like, I mean, that's why we have the disclaimer put right on our crowdfunding page saying that we will absolutely do this because it's how we make money and how we get people to be excited about our games. And this guy he was just like, even it's one of those people like you apologize to somebody, but they just continue grinding on you. They just won't, just like, well, I don't like it. I understand you don't like it. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know why I bother backing anything anymore. Nobody cares about the backers anymore. And I was just like, okay.
I agree.
And just, I was just like, if that's it's like then my of course Shane was like, well, it's right there on the page. It said we would do it if we had to, and he's like, oh, you expect me to read everything?
People don't read.
Just like what as I said, all I could hear is Scott Alden saying, people don't read. People don't read anything.
Scott knows.
I know nobody reads
Well, it's like
very, very well.
there was just so as a sidebar thing, I'm talking about locking your knees. They talk about people standing at attention for long periods of time it can cause them to pass out because
Yeah, one of my friends in high school did that when he was out doing the what do you call it, color guard,
Standing at attention.
standing at in soldiers.
Yeah,
Like when it was ROTC,
right.
and they
So
were
that's why
standing there
that's why
doing
they
the
say
flags
they-
and holding the
yeah.
flags, and he basically passed out because he if you stand straight and like put your legs straight where you have
Yeah.
no bend in your knees, apparently your blood flow is blocked in some way.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's a thing.
Whenever I hear
Um,
ROTC, I think of that's Happy Days episode.
yeah.
I was he at ROTC.
We don't have ROTC in Canada.
Do they even have an army?
You have the Mounties, right?
No, it's
Yeah.
just a whole bunch of guys with plastic forks and knives. That's all.
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
I would think more like sports.
sports.
Did you guys
So they're-
watch any of the women's soccer?
Oh
No.
no,
I'm guessing not.
I don't watch soccer. in
When
China.
would I have a chance to do that?
Oh, I don't know. When you have a weekend of not doing nothing except sitting there watching longingly at Gen Con, you can watch soccer games
Oh, poor Scott.
at 3 a.m. on a Sunday.
Why were you up at 3 a.m. when this on?
Because I had it recorded. And I said, and Michelle woke up and it turned on TV, and I'm like, and then I woke up and I'm like, oh, I might as well stay up because it's the game. I wanted to watch the game anyway.
Okay.
We lost.
Oh, poor Scott.
Against who?
It was sad. Canada.
Oh,
Really?
Wasn't it
lost
Canada?
against Canada?
I think
don't know.
Canada
think it
got
was
knocked
Canada.
out last week, didn't it?
No, was it Canada? Wait, who did we lose to? I forget.
Blame Canada.
I thought it was Canada, but that may be wrong. I don't know. My memory is going.
It's getting old. Old and cranky. You're getting like Lance.
Got it.
I'm thrilled.
Oh, I had agreements about
Sweden.
Sweden.
The other Canada.
The other Canada.
That's Switzerland.
Yeah.
What's your grievance, Barry?
Yeah, what's your
So-
grievance with
Your
Gen Con?
camera's flickering.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting to change this camera out. So I was watching YouTube, flipping through YouTube, and apparently Gen Con got in the
I've heard of it.
algorithm. And the local station from Indiana came up with coverage on Gen Con. It was opening day. And they went to Piazza. They were standing in front of Piazza's booth with
Gonzo?
Paizo.
Paizo, I'm
Paizo.
sorry. There was like this 2-foot mini of one of the characters in the game. And the opening statement for the rep for Paizo is the 4-sentence name of this fucking thing, right? And I'm like, this is just too geeky for normal people. You're scaring them away. This is my
What was
grievance.
They were showing up of a character.
Yeah, it was like the mini of a character in the game, and it was like this long ass name. And I'm like, this is a little too much for the average person, back off a bit. That's my
That's
stop,
geeky though,
stop putting the real geeky people out front. It scares the normies away. Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't buy any games at the con, but I did buy one thing that I'm really happy with. It's a 2-inch 1 pound solid copper D20.
I saw, yeah.
1 pound.
It's
1 pound.
insane.
2-inch, that'll do some damage.
Is it
Yeah.
sharp on the edges, or is it?
No, it's all
or is it
rounded.
rounded?
Even
Yeah,
still,
rounded.
that'll do some damage.
I've got sharp edge metal ones that I just every time I touch them, I hurt myself.
It's beautiful.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was gorgeous, and it's going to oxidize too, which is the really cool thing about it.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why I'd want it to oxidize, other than you wanted to.
you wanted that green? Or?
You didn't buy anything but that.
Mhm.
I got a signed copy of Cosmoctopus too, but
Oh, okay.
that's Henry just gave that to me. So
Oh,
excuse me.
grow your hair.
Were they there?
Who?
Parks was Parks there?
Yeah,
Parks people.
yeah, they were. Despite the stuff.
Despite the legal actions.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we had somebody steal a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all the
Yeah.
rage. I mean, that was the only thing I could do was just basically post the pictures.
Yeah.
Like no one else posts pictures. That like the one thing out of Gen Con is like the thieves. I'm like, okay, well, I guess there's something out of Gen Con.
Well, no, and then nobody knows exactly what got stolen. I mean, I've
Yeah,
got,
it was also, and then Robinsberger throws some FUD into it, like, oh, our product is fine. Like, does that mean nothing got stolen? Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was like, oh, so it's fine. But that wasn't-
I
they
heard
didn't-
from somebody.
It was a
I
bad
heard-
post.
I heard from somebody relatively in the know, somebody I trust, that it was Lorcana stuff. So
It was
Really?
it was Lorcana.
that's
I
what I
read an
heard.
article
That's
that
what I
said it
heard.
was-
No. I
Robinsberger
can't.
made a post that said it was everything, all their product was spoken for, was accounted for.
Okay, well then that person was full of shit.
I read a post that said it was MTG,
Robinsberger made a post. It was what?
MTG stuff.
It probably was Magic. Like, what other game would there be value in?
Well, you saw the big
I mean,
stink
big value.
about how
They said it was
the,
$300,000 for like one pallet.
Yeah.
you saw the big stink about the about how Lorcana Thursday was handled as far
That
as
was the
like,
other thing that got promoted, like the trampling,
yeah.
the Lorcana trampling.
There was a trampling?
Well, it was like so crazy because I
What
guess
I
the
what
line,
I saw
there was a
super
line to
weird.
get in and get the cards, and then the line got dispersed.
The
by Gen Con.
first day there was no nobody set the line up.
There was no structure at all.
Well, there was no official like this is how you need to line up for this. It was just people like, well, I'm gonna line up then.
So
And-
people, the short story,
Line
that's
formed.
not to talk about remat.
A
Basically,
line formed like
On their own.
holistic, like naturally,
People-
organically.
people decided, hey, the first people that were waiting, let's just make a line kind of thing. And then other
Yeah.
people showed up and were like, oh yeah, I'm here and I'm waiting for Lorcana. Oh, well, we were here for Lorcana too. So people took it upon themselves to start a line. And then several hours later, some turds showed up and they were just like, there's no lines at Gen Con. And they just went and stood in front of them and stood next to the doors. And they were like, and people kind of like, they kind of jaw-jacked back and forth for a little while. And the people that weren't getting in the organically
punches
created
thrown?
line were basically saying, hey, as soon as those doors open, I'm racing in as fast. They're like, that's the door that opens and I'm closer to it than you. I'm racing in as soon as it happens.
They got their Disney first. They got their Mickey Mouse first.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
so exciting.
So
and-
exciting.
And
Ah.
so it was just people kind of bark back and
It's so
forth. and-
crazy. I mean,
and
these are
then
grown men, right?
yeah, and then the people that had formed the line were basically saying they tried to talk to Gen Con about it, and then they are like, and from what I understand, the Gen Con people were just basically like, well, we'll go talk to Ravensburger and see what they're going to say. And then they thought, okay, well, cool, they're going to say, this is the line, you guys can't be in it, that kind of thing. But then those people came back and they were just like, 2 minutes before the door opens, no lines, is what they said.
Oh.
And it was just kind of like, oh, well, what are you gonna do then? You know, like when there's 2 minutes to go, and then they opened up the door, the one door, and of course it was the people that were like the closest to it. If you've ever been at Gen Con, there's like a lot of doors, and they'll open up one or two, and that's all the doors they'll open so they can see the badges. That's the biggest thing. They don't want people getting in that don't have a badge. And so then what happened was the people that had been standing in line like for a long time were like, well, this is stupid. And they just made they just ran to the freaking doors and opened up the other doors and like just pushed their way through because they didn't want to. And I was just, and and then they went and raced over and got in line and then they said and this is something I was going to talk about too. When they got in line, the one guy that posted, he said at least the first 20 people in line had exhibitor badges. Like meaning that
Yeah, so they pre-lined up for sure.
they inside they're pre-lined up. So which I don't, what are you gonna do? I don't, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if somebody had gotten hurt, like if somebody had gotten knocked down, shoved down, you know, sprained their leg or worse, something like that, Gen Con's at fault at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I mean, you can't, you know, and so I'm guessing there's going to be two things. One, security is going to be way tighter next year at the loading dock.
There won't be a
instead of-
game next year like this, though.
Well,
Mhm.
maybe, but I mean,
Not to say that they shouldn't do a proper line, whatever, for some other game.
somebody's going to talk to Peter Atkinson and say we are liable in this shit. We need to do a better job of lining this stuff up. And he's going to be like,
Yeah, that thing at the beginning is. I looked at the pictures of that, and I'm like, my blood ran cold. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
well, it's
as
no
a
worse than when we're
business owner,
younger. It's just
as
we're
a
in different
convention
world.
runner. Yeah,
We're just in a different world now.
Yeah.
sure.
No,
I
so
think Gen Con could have handled, like, once they seen the line form, they could have handled that. They could have read the room and said, yeah, maybe we should just keep the line for now, instead of
I don't know.
possibly creating pandemonium like that, like people just rushing at the last minute.
yeah. So after
Did they all get their Disney cards though? I mean, I don't think anybody went.
I I don't think anybody didn't. I think.
I mean,
I think they
didn't
they
hear-
had thousands.
I mean, they
and
had like a
thousands
million
and
cards.
thousands.
I mean, believe me, they were ready to sell.
they they were
Disney,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody went.
I'll
home
say this,
and-
and I will know this. I say this knowing full well that I used exhibitor badges to get myself. When I wasn't an exhibitor, I used an exhibitor badge to get myself into. a
Yeah,
spot
but
where I could
99%
get-
of the other games are not that.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I used it. And so after Friday, when like I had exhibitors lining up to get last light, and I was like, look, I said, could you just not be like right in front of the booth? If you want to go over there or something like that and get over here, that's fine. But when you're like right here and I can see people in that door staring at me, and I know that some of those want to get the last light, and you're just standing here already, I said, this is kind of garbage. And then so after I sold stuff to them on Sat, I just said, look, I'm not selling to exhibitors. And I realized again that that's hypocritical compared to what I used to use my exhibitor badge for. And I recognize that. But I was just like, I'm just not going to sell to exhibitors because I was just, and then people were like, well, why aren't you? And most people were cool. Most people were cool about the exhibitors. I was like, hey, I can't sell to exhibitors. I'm sorry. It's just, but I honestly don't think, I mean, I realize every company can decide what they want to do. And, but I just, especially if you have something that people want, I just, like, if we have anything like that next year at Gen Con, I'm
I
just,
mean,
I
like
won't-
Guild of Merchants, or what was the name of that game? Not Guild.
Oh,
of
Origins of Guild Explorer.
yeah.
No,
Guild
it
of
was,
Merchants.
No, that was Origins
what
from a
was
million
that,
years ago.
that
Yeah.
game that you were
Oh,
holding
Guilds of
up?
London?
No,
Guilds
Guilds
of
of London. Guilds of London. Great game, horrible rule book. But so yeah, I just I was one of those things where I was like, and then I had most of the exhibitors, I was like, look, I can't sell it to you. I said, if you want to go find a normal badge and go, and there the one guy said, well, why not? I was like, because I said there's guys out there sneezing on each other, waiting to get in here, and you're just sitting here looking at TikTok videos, waiting for it to be 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, it's not fair. You know, and he's like, okay, that's
Sneezing on
fair.
each other.
I had one guy who was an a-hole about it though. One exhibitor who was just a turd about it. I told him on Saturday no, and he came back on Sunday. He's like, I'm getting in line. I said, well, I'm not selling you one. So he's like, Nick. I was like, sorry, stuff your sorries. Just like, it's like, okay, whatever.
These are games.
And grown men.
I don't know.
Hmm.
So
All right. Well, hey, new leaf for the industry.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then I mean, but yeah, it was a good convention. We sold out of a lot of our stuff. I mean, we had, I don't know how much we brought a lot, and we had like, I mean, most of like we had a few copies of For Science. We sold out of those. Obviously, sold Last Light. We had like 3 copies of After the Empire Left. Sold all of our Reavers and Midgard, sold all of our Reavers mats, sold most of our Champions mats, sold all of our Champions and Midgard stuff. I mean, it was a good convention. I mean, it was, people came with money and they came to spend, and we let them. Strangely, almost all of it was card. Nobody used cash, which
I
is
don't
just the way
find
the
that-
world is now.
Yeah, I don't find that strange.
Like that Outcast Silver Raiders box that I got or whatever. Like I walked up and I was like, I was just gonna give him $100 bill for it, and he was like, yeah, I don't take cash. I was like, who doesn't take cash? I was just like, what? This is for all debts, public and private. It says it right here.
All debts, public and private.
Yeah, it's just
I'm surprised how many places don't accept cash anymore. It's weird. Yeah,
I don't know.
dispensaries always deal with cash though.
I mean, it
Something
does
you
create a
gotta love.
security issue for you. You got to figure out how to carry it. You got to figure out how to deposit it.
I have it. Very
Yeah.
secure. When we did it, I had it in a sweaty Ziploc bag that I kept in my pocket.
Kept it next to your your pocket. Okay.
In my pocket. As Shane says, I don't he's like, I think you're like the least likely to be mugged of the
Close down.
people that. But yeah, I just yeah, I did see Kip. I saw Stick H. I saw some good people. I just want to, Chad, did you see this? Did you back this at Kickstarter? The Outcast Silver Raiders? I don't know. And just Chad, the other RPG guys, and I just want to know if you knew that
Other
existed because it's super cool.
Oh, Matthew, you drove down, right? How was the
Mhm.
drive?
On the way down, it was fine. On the way back was fucking horrible.
Why? Because you were tired or you ran into some shit?
Yes.
Both.
It was
Well,
raining off and on. And when we crossed the border, we had the friendliest border patrol officer. She was like chatting us up about Gen Con and stuff and talking about cosplay. Like, we're looking back like we should probably go. There's a big line, But after we crossed the border, we were on the 401 through Toronto and stuff, and then they tossed us on the 407 to make it faster. And there was like an accident or something. But then they put us on the 7, which is this unlit rural highway.
Yeah.
So no lights. You have these lights coming at you at nighttime. It's raining hard. I was shitting bricks for a couple of kilometers there. It was not fun.
Everybody had their passports this time.
Yeah, really, of course, this time.
Did they give you a hard time last time?
Well, we didn't. Al had fucking Mandy's passport, so we get there and like he had his driver's license, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you can go, but bring your passport next time." So
Don't they give you a hard time?
Before 9/11, we could use our driver's license
Yeah.
to get through. So
I used a birth certificate with a driver's license to get into Canada before 9/11.
yeah, no, it was a good con. Had a couple of fun meetings. Yeah. I looking forward to next year. See if we can do the social again. That'd be fun. Oh, so I just found out yesterday that I can use points, Aeroplan points for my flight to Dallas. Woo! Saved me $1,000.
Yeah, that'll be here before we know it.
I know. I need to book my flight.
I gotta get some shit done.
Would be nice.
I've been dealing with I don't know what I want to say publicly.
Okay.
Let's say site issues, not not technical. Like external forces acting on the website, let's call it that.
Really? That sucks.
I don't want to say too much because I'm not really sure
Yeah.
what is the problem yet. It's not,
Right.
I mean, it's a problem, but it's like, and we're dealing with it. It's just annoying. Yeah, so it's been a sucky ass week.
Good
That
luck with
sucks, man.
that.
I'm
Don't know
sorry.
how to respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. Without me telling you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah,
after
yeah.
the show. I mean, I don't want to just go talking about it on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But yeah, the kind of pain in the ass. But we're almost done with our. I don't know if I've told anybody, but we're basically overhauling the card sleeve system.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody told me
Yeah,
that.
Did I tell you that? We talked about this before.
I think we did, Scott.
Holy
yeah.
shit, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet it is.
It's a complicated thing.
Is it going to be integrated into the game?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Because you have that couple of long posts that have. That's awesome.
The guy who basically maintains that list has been doing it for 10 years.
Mhm.
7,000 items.
Is he involved in
Is
this
involved,
process?
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He's not a technical guy. He's a he's a subject matter expert. Let's call it that.
Okay.
Did you know there was so much about card sleeves?
I didn't know.
I'm sure
There's a lot of
somewhere.
things about. There's a lot of details about card sleeves.
I absolutely did not.
Lots of
I'm
technical.
There is an online tool somewhere that has all that stuff.
Yeah, gee, I wonder where they got that data from.
Yeah, probably.
Did they come up with it on their own? I don't think
Yes.
so.
Is it
No, to do
Paladin
with his
Paladin
site.
sleeves? I think.
Oh no, no. I thought you were talking about something else.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, there's tons of. Is there a system out there that like a publisher
Not
that
a system, but
you basically enter in like the card sizes? and stuff?
it's one company's like database that says, yeah, our this sleeve
Oh,
that we
no,
make.
I've seen that. That is I think that's Seth's new company. Paladin? I don't know. Is that his company? I
It
can't
was
remember.
around when we did Merchants of the Dark Road.
Yeah, there's a company out there that has a lot of games pre sleeves packages.
There's only
Yeah,
one
yeah.
company.
Well, only one that I know of.
That
The one
really
that's, I think
surprises
it's
me.
Seth. Yeah, Seth's company.
I
Seth
figured there'd be more than that.
Seth Hyatt.
Seth Hyatt.
Yeah.
I don't.
He
know
used to
that.
be. He used to have Mayday sleeves.
Oh,
Oh, that's
I
why.
only
Yeah, I
know.
thought there was
Imperial
another.
Imperial sleeves, I think, is what it is.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
But
maybe
this
they did
is
something. Yeah.
much more of a robust system as far as like any game can be sleeved. Like we can
Yeah, okay.
generate sleeve. Yeah, you'll see. It's crazy.
Well,
It's
how
crazy
many-
complicated, probably way over engineered. But
Yeah, of course.
that's
Yeah.
BGG.
It's a bunch of nerds over there. What do you expect?
Yeah. it's
But
a bunch of nerds.
Scott, how many standard card like sizes are there? There's like 4 or 5, right? I mean, you got like there's more than that, really?
No,
No,
there's like 30.
there's like 40,
There's that
30 or
many?
40. Yeah.
I thought there was like the mini ones, regular
Well,
ones, tarot ones.
Take
I mean,
all
no.
of the cards you think you know, and then duplicate that for Imperial and Metric. So you
Oh
get-
yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
think
I
of
mean,
that. Yeah,
They've
yeah.
classified them with a color coding system. Like I like GameGenic sleeves system because they use colors. Like the old Fantasy Flight sleeves used to have these color code systems,
Yeah,
which I don't know why they got rid of those. Honestly, I feel like that was like a mistake, but maybe GameGenic took over that for them. I don't know. I don't know the history behind it. Sleeve Kings, that's what it is. Sleeve Kings.
Sleeve
Yes.
Kings,
I don't know what I
baby.
was thinking Imperial for. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Imperial Games, I think, is his other company. Is that right? I don't know.
No. Sleeve Kings was originally.
Sleeve Kings is Seth.
Yeah.
Mayday.
No, it's not Mayday anymore. It's something else.
It's not Mayday.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if Seth owns Mayday anymore. I'm not sure.
No. Well, no.
don't think so,
I mean, and this might be telling tales out of school. I don't know exactly.
I
what
don't.
it is.
Yeah, let's not say it
Okay, never mind.
because we don't know.
Hey, how about that Call of Duty Kickstarter?
How about it? How's it doing?
Oh
not
yeah,
good.
what's up with that?
Not great.
Really?
Yeah, I was wondering
I wanna-
where are the video gamer people?
So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about a few things, and
You were thinking.
well,
That's
okay.
always scary.
Before we switch over to
Actually, can I get a
talk
drink
about-
real quick? I gotta get a.
Yeah,
refill.
and I was also
I'll be
going to
right
see if
back.
anybody else had any Gen Con stuff they wanted to talk
I'll be right
about
back.
as far as that.
We
stuff
can't wait
goes.
to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Matt, any more Gen Con stuff?
Hmm.
What was other than the event? What was your highlight?
That was pretty much it. I mean, the Saturday night I talked about already. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was just really good hanging out with people. I mean, I don't go to Gen Con to play games mostly. I just kind
Hang
of
out.
just
Yeah.
seeing people and kind of reconnecting. Had a really awesome chat with John Zinser. That was really great. Always to reconnect with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
The food this time around was quite good. Like the food trucks they had, I had tacos from a food truck, and it was like, holy shit, these were good.
All right.
The reason why we chose tacos is because it was the shortest line. Yeah, no, it was I'm glad I brought my wagon though for the social. Yeah, I was walking around on Wednesday to pick up all the prizes for the social that night. I was gonna go on Thursday, and I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't, because I didn't want to drag a wagon around the friggin' open dealer hall. Excuse me, pardon me,
Yeah.
That would not have been fun. So I borrowed an exhibitor badge, and from some friends, and then I went in and did the rounds. But yeah, in the dealer hall I mean, even in the convention center at all on the Wednesday is not great because it's like stinking hot.
Yeah.
And then this guy,
Oh, I was just saying, I was telling anybody to listen. When you stopped by the booth on Saturday, it was like, oh, wait till you can hear. When Forrest stopped by the booth on Saturday, it was literally like I was like laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. It was so good. It was so good to reconnect with you, buddy. It was a blast.
Was
Can you
that-
hear us- can
I
you hear us,
didn't hear a
Forrest?
word of that.
me,
Was
you
connecting
talking
the
about
audio.
me?
No,
Well,
no, I was talking
Fo-
about Forrest. When
Forrest.
Forrest
Yeah,
popped by
okay,
the
I
booth,
thought
and
so.
he hung out of the booth for like about a half hour, and we were just sitting there laughing, and we were telling
We were
tales.
chuckling to each
We were
other.
challenging. We were definitely having a good time, telling tales out of school, that sort of stuff. So it was a good time. So before we move on to the Call of Duty Kickstarter and discuss it,
Oh.
what did you do? How was your Gen Con after they tried to take away your hotel room?
Oh, it was great. It ended up being great. It's
We got,
tired.
Take
we
away
got
your
booted.
hotel
We got
room?
one of our rooms booted as well.
Did you?
Had to relocate.
What? How come?
They oversell. They oversold.
They oversold.
Oh, that happened to Christina and Michael too.
Yeah, they did too. They had to move far, right?
Yeah,
Or was
but
it still
they
downtown?
got free rooms.
Yeah, I'll
Uh-oh.
take a free room. Those rooms
You're
are
in
like
trouble.
$400 a night.
So what
That's
they
like
just
900. That's like $1,200 of room expense. I'll take a free room.
what they do? Scott move them to another hotel or
For
Yeah,
us,
it's
they
like
did. Yeah, we
it's
got
a 10-minute
okay.
walk away.
we got it booked at another hotel.
how do you over?
There's only one of the 6 rooms or 5 rooms that we had.
So 1 out of 5 ain't bad. I
Beth
guess.
and John took it. Beth and John took it on the chin. I mean, here's the thing: we don't get any rooms at that stupid the place where we run our BGG shit. Infuriating. Anyway, what happened to you, Bauer?
Yeah,
Oh, it worked out really well. Found somebody. It ended up being like a 10 to 15-minute walk, which kind of sucked. Made me feel old a little bit. But other than that, they comped me 2 rooms for next year, and I already have my hotel for next year at the Omni. So I just got the confirmation a
Top
couple
to
days
2
ago.
days. 2 days next year, right?
Yeah, half of
I
it.
love the Omni. I like the Omni a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like the location. I like the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good spot.
Evan was there. When the guy tried to throw us out of the hot games room with 6 minutes to go.
That's true.
Evan was there.
Freeloaders.
That guy
I
was
got my
just-
VIP badge.
That guy was just a turd. He was just a turd.
Come on, he's just doing his job.
There's a way to do your job, and there's a way. I mean, who walks into a place with 5 minutes to go to see if you can throw people
He didn't
out?
know that it was closing in 5 minutes, did he?
He absolutely knew.
Come on,
He
they don't know our
knew.
hours. They
I
assume
don't-
we're staying
I
open.
don't buy it.
Should
I
have
don't
Gen
buy
Con
it.
goes on all night.
I don't buy it. I just,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, that's fine. What was your game of the con, Forrest? What was the one thing you were super excited to come home with?
Oh, Captain Pepe from Haba Games.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go. You gave me a big giant diatribe about that. What? How excited are you about Captain Pepe?
We're 7 games in, me and my 2 boys, and we like it a lot.
Is it a legacy game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
It's a children's legacy game, but yeah, they're really digging it.
You haven't unlocked
Never
the
heard of it.
cannibals or anything like that?
Nah. Pretty. There's gonna be an
Captain Pepe.
alligator, but
Is
Yeah,
it PEPE?
yeah, Pepe.
Pepe Le Captain.
Captain Pepe, treasure ahoy. Terrible picture. No pictures.
Other than that,
That's the only one.
I think so.
I played like 9. I think we played 9 games since Gen Con that were from Gen Con. Deep Dive from AEG. I dig that one. It's a lightweight filler game, like a Pressure Luck style game. And then Hansel and Gretel from Fox Mine / Grana's a pretty solid children's game. Played Ahoy There Kitten or Ahoy Kitten from Mayday Games. We enjoyed that one. It's nothing to scream about,
Mayday?
but yeah, Mayday. And then the one that I really want to love is Infiltrators from Broadway. Traders spelled Traitor. It's a deduction number game, and
Ahoy Kitten is from Broadway, by the way.
they both are. Yeah.
Okay, you said Mayday.
Well, Mayday's also doing it.
Oh, are they?
hmm
The hell?
They had like 4 games.
And then
released,
Mayday. I guess
so-
Mayday is making games still.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're around and kicking. They split to like your Imperial Publishing, so it's like I don't know exactly. I'm covering a game either for Mayday or Imperial Publishing.
Right.
But yeah, Infiltrators. I want to really love it, but I've yet to lose a game of it. We played like 8 times so far since then. It's like it's not
So you're
like
saying you're the infiltrator king?
no, we played it wrong a couple times, but
Oh.
it's not as good as the Crew, but it's still Crew-esque, where it's 2 to 4 players. And you're going to play with the same group and go through 20 missions, and they get progressively more difficult.
What's it called?
Infiltrators.
Oh, TRAITR.
Yeah,
Stupid board game geek can't handle typos, misspellings.
No fuzzy logic there.
Nah, it's dumb. It's old, and I don't want to fix. I don't want to like. I mean, if I want to re-implement, I got to do a lot of work, which is fine.
Yeah.
I can do work, but
Works.
someday.
I like it a good deal, but I need to play it more. I need to see if it's got the legs for 20 missions.
20 missions. Is Legacy as well?
No, it's more like the Crew, where it just progressively.
Oh,
gets
you're
a
just
little
going
bit
through
more
20
difficult.
missions. I see. In linear, not
yeah.
random like the Crew of Deep Sea.
Yeah, it's linear.
Okay, cool.
I like
Sounds
it.
Cool.
And then yeah, that's all I really played. Excited to get Robo Rally to the table, the new one, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I read the rules for the one from Trick or Treat Games. Looks pretty cool. But that's what I played since Gen Con. I'm tired.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll say this. So before I even say anything about the Call of Duty Kickstarter, I want to say that one, just start laughing already.
I haven't looked at it yet. I'm excited. Somebody
I
requested
want
it.
to say, I want to say one.
I mean, it made its goal though.
Just be quiet for a second. I want to say one. Brian Pope is a friend.
Yeah.
Robert Geislinger is a friend.
Right.
I mean, I want them to make all the money and be all as successful as possible.
Did they pull it down?
They haven't yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's at
Oh,
100
wow.
and it's at 159,121 backers. I think it's safe to say they are not hitting the level of success that they thought they would with this one.
Wow, this is not even in the top 30. It's number 37 on popularity.
Maybe they did. I mean, if they pull it down, they'll probably rebuild it.
Yeah.
Redesign it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a winner game there. I mean, I'm sure there's.
I heard
So
there's a- about
I
the
was
game.
thinking about this though. I was thinking, well, why would it be like this? I was like, well, why would it be? And I think what it is, and I worry about this a little bit because we just signed the RimWorld,
I don't think video game crossovers are that common, honestly.
no,
Except for that-
and that's
What was that dungeon
so-
deck builder game?
Well, they're usually not very good, right?
What's that one that? No,
But
there's
this
some-
is Call of Duty. This is like a whole different thing. Like there's like I'm looking at the main thing. It doesn't really say much about the game at all. Competitive action-packed shootout based on the critically acclaimed video game franchise. Well, no shit. It's a Call of Duty board game. There's no player length, no time count, no age, no focusing on the minis, no even telling me from the main marquee like what kind of game it is, except for competitive, action-packed. What the hell does that mean? It's just superfluous. Like immediately from the front, I feel like it's setting a bad foot forward. Like,
I mean, watch the video, that video, and then like go to that website. I mean, they went all in on this one.
Is this
well, yeah, it's Call of Duty. I imagine they
is
would.
this Emerson or is it somebody else?
If it's Emerson
this is
Matsuki.
no, the
No.
Call of Duty. No, it's Brian Pope and his son Benjamin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
if it's
cool.
Emerson Matsuki, they should totally mention that from the front.
Oh, okay. I
but-
was wondering. I wasn't sure if it was him or not.
Well, I don't want to look at it. I'm gonna check it out later. I'm gonna check it out later this week.
I mean, I like Call of Duty. I feel like there's a lot to build on a game there for sure.
Well, I remember Ryan said he's not like the biggest Call of Duty fan, which is why he made sure the game was like really damn good. I remember him saying.
Yeah.
So if you, and I realize that like shitbirds flock to failure all the time. They love pounding on things that are. So like go to the comment section and you see people like it's also you go if you go to BGG-Con, there's like threads where people are saying, yeah, I was gonna back this, then I demoed it at Gen Con and this game's crap, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's
I tried it and I liked it. It's $49. Why not mention that right from the jump? Why not put that on the thing? Granted, nobody's buying that. Everyone's gonna buy the $99, but you have a great starting entry point at $49. Like that main image. Like I just don't feel like it does anything for this at all. Like it
to
does.
be
Like,
fair, let's be fair. They want the people to be doing the $250.
wow. Well, yeah, I know that, but you lead with the 49. I feel like just to get people in the door. I feel like
That's cool.
and it's pre-painted minis. Like, why not feature that?
Yeah,
Why
those
not
are-
mention that?
Yeah, for sure.
Like
those
those are
are
badass.
cool.
Pre-painted minis are only in certain levels, I believe.
Is it most of them though? The most popular one, collector's edition.
I think it's the
Uh,
collector's. I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, that's the
So,
majority. of
but
people get
here's what everybody always says when it comes to things like this, where it's like we're gonna make a board game and it's gonna be based on this IP. What you'll always hear somebody say is, if we can just get 1%, like you say, like like.
of
Oh,
Call
right.
of Duty. Yeah.
Well, no, but like you say, oh, well, this game, I mean, 1 million people own this video game, and then you say, well, if you can just get 1% of those people to buy your board game, then you'll be okay. That's the whole thing, and it's just, I don't think it's easy to get that 1%. I mean, the one nice thing, and I'm not saying we're better off for this, that, and the other thing, but the one nice thing we have is that our like RimWorld, at least I think, has a crossover into the board game world a little bit, just like something like that. I mean, Call of Duty has millions upon millions upon millions of people playing it, obviously, but I mean, I just don't know how many of those are like big board gamers. That's the only thing I can think of why this isn't like clicking as well.
Yeah. Looks really cool.
I also feel like video game companies don't really do